Alright, hi, my name is Daphne, and today is the first week of June, and the temperatures are beautiful. It is sunny outside. The 80s are actually starting to come. We're actually reaching the 50s, 60s at night, so it's just perfect weather. I actually moved a lot of the collard greens outside. I moved some of the spare okra outside. I moved some of the zucchini outside, so they are going to harden off for a week, and then they will actually go inside of the raised garden beds, in between the tomatoes and the basil and everything else that's been planted, and then we should be good to go. The flowers are blooming. There's so many honeybees outside. It's so beautiful just to be out here. Yes, I want to show you guys around. We have some exciting updates. We actually do have the pole beans coming in. Well, not the pole beans, but the peas are actually coming in. We have, well, we've actually been harvesting some of the basil just a little bit at a time. All of the herbs are in full force. They actually need to be harvested. So yeah, there's a lot going on. So I want to show you guys around the garden space, and then also show you the plants that are hardening off. Yeah, and also the fact that we have some green strawberries now as well. I mean, obviously not ready to be eaten, but we actually do have some strawberries that will be coming in. I see some little bitty blackberries, some little bitty raspberries, so all is well. We even have some salad greens that actually need to be harvested now, but some of them are actually going to seed, which is perfect timing because we can move out the ones that are going to seed, and we can actually put in a couple of collard greens, which are actually will be ready to go into the ground next week, Monday. So all good things. So let me show you guys around the garden space for the first week of June and the beautifulness of the weather. Ah, so amazing. I feel like spring has finally come and we are officially out of the shadow of winter. It is a beautiful thing. But let me show you what the garden looks like. All right, so we do have some beautiful things happening in the raised bed this week. We have all of our plants are actually ready to be harvested. The Queen Anne lettuce is definitely ready to come out. Our Paris Island lettuce is just doing beautiful right now. The Merlot lettuce is always great. What's not so great is that the weather has been so inconsistently hot and cold that the tatsoi, both tatsois is actually, well, the bok choy, purple bok choy, as well as the green bok choy, well, I think that's tatsoi, and the arugula are all going to seed. And so that's kind of sucky because we actually didn't get a harvest from those. I think I might actually still be able to pull from the arugula just for a little bit because the taste hasn't changed on that. But I'm pretty sure the bok choys and the tatsois, the taste has kind of gotten a little bitter. Not to mention they're not the most appealing to look at. So eating them would not actually be an option. But as mentioned, it is a good opportunity to actually replace these with the collards, which need about a week to harden off in order to get used to like the intense sunlight that's out here, since we're going to be in the 80s this week. So when they come out, I'm actually going to be replacing 3 rows, the tatsoi, the bok choy, as well as the arugula. And then at that point, we do have some mustards and some turnip greens in the house, as well as some cabbage. The cabbage won't go on this bed, but the mustard greens and the turnip greens will actually go in this bed to replace the Mizuna and the Merlot when they bolt. And then the last to bolt typically is the Paris Island lettuce. And by then, the collard greens will be huge, so nothing else will be able to fit in this bed. Take a moment to appreciate how beautiful this is. Now, these aren't edible, but it's just how healthy the soil is. Just produce so much mushroom life, and the mycelium that's underneath here, which is just perfect for plants to grow. It's a beautiful thing. So we also have our yarrow as normal. Every year around this time they get these beautiful flowers on them. They attract so many pollinators. We also have a little tomato doing fine. Cherokee purple, so we're going to have an abundance of Cherokee purple this year. And then our 2 borage, one of them is going to have to go. And the bees right now are absolutely loving this bunching onion. It's actually starting to go to seed. And I'll probably collect those. Although typically the best way to actually propagate this is just to dig them up, like dig up half of this and just transplant it somewhere else when it's dormant. I've noticed that half of these will die a horrible death if I actually choose to do so in the spring. So early spring next year, I probably will just like dig the entire thing up and repot it. We have another Amish paste here, and our basil's doing wonderful. We have some more borage popping up, but I really don't want one growing there. Have another Amish paste, and then some basils, Amish paste here. And this is what I mean about this borage. If you let it, now this thing will actually be like somewhat stunted because it's on the side, but that one right there is going to be massive. And I might leave that one, but one of these is actually going to have to go, or it'll start to block out the light. And then we do have a couple of nasturtiums popping up. And I actually tried to actually grow them in the house, and I was not successful. But apparently they like better to actually to grow out the ground, so I'll do that next year. Another borage here. And then under this one we have San Marzano, which I don't know why I have a basket over it. And it looks like we have white mulberries starting to fall from the tree, so I'm definitely going to need to put the tarp up in a little bit. We have a beautiful marigolds coming up. And then this massive mugwort here. That's how beautiful the leaves are, which needs to be harvested. I actually don't want this one to go to seed because the seeds go everywhere. So this one has to be cut down immediately. And then we have our golden seal. Looks like it's actually about to put on some flowers. Put on its berries. Some comfrey all over the place. And then our peppers are actually doing pretty well. The one that's actually under the shade seems to be actually growing pretty well. I've actually just been pulling off the flowers. They're not big enough yet to actually produce any fruit. And I'm gonna have to stake them up soon. But we have beautiful kale. I need to pick up some diatomaceous earth. I keep forgetting that. And then 2 more cayenne peppers there as well. And sad echinacea plant that needs to be watered. Some chamomile. Brushing up against this and getting stung. I'm definitely going to have to take this plant soon because I keep forgetting that it's here, and then I brush up against it and my whole arm is inflamed. Definitely a very healthy stinging nettle. Oh, look at this, it's starting to tassel. It's starting to put on flowers. These seeds, no. Then we have some more patches of chamomile here, though this bed does need to be rebuilt. And then our okra here, as mentioned within the last video, I think this one might actually be okay, but this one's going to get replaced. That one should be fine. That one in there is going to be replaced as well. And then probably the one on the end, which is fine. I think I have a total of 7 okra. And so I can just replace these 4. The problem is that I put them out here too early. They were stunted anyway because the soil was bad quality, but the weather was so low at night that these plants just weren't going to do so well. So next year I do know that the okra can't come out until June, but if I'm going to start it in the house, and yeah, hopefully that way they'll be a lot healthier because the squash are actually huge. And what I don't want to have happen is the squash to overtake the okra before they get up some size, because if they do that, the okra gets smuggled. It gets overcompensated. There's no light, so the squash ends up killing the okra. Well, look, there's a little nasturtium coming up here. Then we have all of our Cherokee purples in this row, which are doing amazing. The kale, and then we also have some beautiful. Our peas are still going even in this heat. How gorgeous that is, that flower. And we also have a few surprises. We have our first purple potted peas. They're not filled in yet. And I'm not exactly sure if I should actually try them in this stage right now. They're still relatively flat, but look how beautiful they are. So we have our first peas coming in. And then I actually had to move the my cat mitt because apparently we have some neighborhood cats or a neighborhood possum. I'm not exactly sure which one, that was just destroying my plant. And I just need for it to take up, like actually get a little bigger. So I had to move it inside of the enclosed area, and it actually looks like it's starting to bounce back. My son also apparently likes to eat catmint, so he'll come out and just take a handful. And that's not really helping the plant right now because it needs to bounce back. So I put it in here hoping that I can, you know, keep the kid and the cats from like damaging it too much. Our Sun Sugar cherry tomatoes actually doing very well. They're going to start the trellis soon. I just need to kind of top these chives. And then we also have some peas coming in here as well. Look how beautiful. And then we have our hyssop here, and all of our peppers actually doing very well. And then I actually moved. This is where the catnip used to be, and this is now the sweet marjoram. I just moved this over, and it has bounced back beautifully. I wish you guys could smell what this smells like. It makes a fabulous tea. And then we have our lemon balm, which definitely is doing amazing. And then our St. John, well, I think this is hyssop, and that's St. John's wort over there. And we have our thyme, which the girls are loving. Oh, look at them. So beautiful. And our little peppers, and then our very successful banana mint, which has come back. It's getting destroyed by the cucumber beetles, but it doesn't look like it's harming its growth at all. Then we have our lavender starting to put on some flowers. And then look at this. And a spot I did not want it to have. We also have some more chocolate mint, which is going to need to be dug up completely and potted up. There isn't any room in the containers they're already in, so I'll just make a separate container. Maybe start selling it. I mean, look at this. This is all chocolate mint. I didn't know it was going to spread like that. There's chocolate mint here as well. Then we do have some grass my husband left out so that I can put them in the garden space. And then these are actually the plants that came from inside of the house. So I would lift the tarps for you guys to see, but it was a process for me to even get these, in here. I broke several leaves trying, but in here are the collards, and they actually got huge. They were actually outgrowing the space I had them in. And then we have a bunch of various squashes in here as well. And one of them was actually starting to put on a little female flower, so I needed to move them out. They do need to be watered. So we have our collards here. I really only need about 4 to survive, and I've broken off quite a few leaves, so hopefully they kind of bounce back. But I have 6 collards and a random assortment of squash, and then these are some squash as well. And then we also have in this smaller container some spare okra that actually need to come out. I'm actually going to have to stake some of them up. They're leaning over. But yeah, they were getting way too big for the enclosure. It was definitely time for them to come outside. And these were the old, I guess, plant holders I had in the winter time. I actually had them covered with plastic just to protect them from the frost. I took the plastic off and just put some insect netting over them, just to stop the bugs from getting inside. A beautiful pea trellis. And I think we're actually going to have some peas soon. We have some purple ones here. Look how healthy it is. And then surprising, because I thought I was going to have to replant them, our pole beans. I think these are Kentucky Wonders. I have to look though. They're actually doing fairly well. I think they might do better when the peas are cut down, because right now they're competing for resources, but they're actually trellising up. So it's kind of an experiment. Hopefully they don't choke out the peas, but they seem to be doing fairly well. The question is going to be, how am I going to cut the peas out and still, like, you know, and not damage the pole beans. And it probably wasn't the best idea. So next time I do know to maybe not start the pole beans until June. And then that way, by the time they are ready to come outside, the peas will probably be dying. But this weather was so weird this year that it's probably not a guarantee. Look at it. Beautiful. And we have our oregano here. And a mess. We have raspberries and asparagus. Look how huge this thing is. And look at the girls. Ah, I'm so proud of them. Just filled with honeybees and ants and every other type of pollinator. And then we have our strawberries. Which actually rooted, so we have another plant that rooted right here. We have another one that rooted right here. So a couple of bonus plants. We have one that rooted here. So it's definitely been a good thing. Sending off runners. I actually see another one here, but I might redirect that one. And then we do have some small, I thought I saw some small, here, some small strawberries that'll be coming along soon. And our blackberries. Look how beautiful, so much life. I mean, and they're spreading like crazy. This blackberry plant is actually scaring me because this is all supposed to be elderberry. I was trying to manage the two, but this is a blackberry shoot here, and then there's a long blackberry shoot right underneath here. And if I move them, I rip them. So I'm thinking I might have to just put up with the madness this year and then maybe try to dig it up next year and redirect it, because I would personally prefer for the blackberries to stay over here, but I'm slowly starting to recognize that I have no control over that. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your gardens are doing amazing. I know that some people already have tomatoes and peppers and squash, and we're not there yet, but we are going to catch up because the weather is beautiful coming up and we have some rain coming. So I say bring it, bring all of it. I am ready. I just have to kind of wake up early and kind of deal with the weeds because it's a lot. There's a lot of weed pressure right now, a lot of growth, and bindweed, the plague of my existence is this bindweed. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and you have a great and wonderful day.